supported by Attorney General Healy, to involuntarily commit the homeless there to an empty facility on the South Bay Correctional Campus where they'd be housed and receive treatment, and the Shattuck Hospital Public Health Campus in Franklin Park, where short-term detox, long-term recovery, and housing needs could be addressed. Which of these do you support? And if you don't support either one, what's your specific short-term alternative?
We need action right away for our opiate crisis, for this overlapping crisis of substance use, homelessness, and mental health. And every time that I have been in the area walking with patients, with business owners, with neighbors in the area, you feel the failure. You feel the sense that we have continued to ignore the growing situation. I will make sure that we are getting in there right away. My first 100 days, putting funding towards outreach so that we are reaching every single person on the streets, expanding our treatment in partnership with community health centers, with regional partners around the whole area, and getting at the root causes of the housing crisis that underlies the situation. Both of these solutions that have been proposed suggest something, which is that we have resources available, whether it's empty buildings that are publicly owned, whether it is land that it's available. We need to move quickly to have a public health-led approach. So I believe that we need to ensure that we are not criminalizing patients who are there, but ensuring we're treating people and also addressing housing, but to do so to move quickly in partnership with our entire region.
Just a quick follow. Do you like either one, Shattuck or Suffolk?
I'm open to conversations on both, but I have proposed ensuring that in my first 100 days, we will audit every single city-owned building and parcel to see where the city of Boston can quickly retrofit for supportive housing. Councillor
Essaibi-George, 1 minute.
We can't wait until the first 100 days of any mayoral administration is through. This is work that needs to happen today. It is work that I have led on as a member of the Boston City Council over the last 6 years. And yes, the crisis has gotten worse. We need to explore Suffolk County, but it needs to be a public health overseen effort. We need to use the Shattuck. We need to rebuild the Long Island Bridge. We need to decentralize services, help the 400 people that are sleeping on the street tonight at Mass and Cass, in Andrew Square, in Nubian Square, in Mattapan Square, in Downtown Crossing, in so many parts of our city where this crisis is touching hundreds and hundreds of individuals. It could be my child, it could be Michelle's child, in a tent tonight that is set on fire. It could be another tent that has served a search warrant. We have to act with quickness. We cannot wait 100 days. It is work I have done over the last 6 years and am continued to be committed on and prepared to lead on day one.
Rebuttal, Councillor Wu.
I was out on Long Island shortly before the bridge was shut down and have seen just how much the temporary solutions have grown in that area because we haven't committed to a long-term plan. Rebuilding the bridge would be a project that is 4, 5, 10 years into the future, hundreds of millions of dollars, when we can activate the land that Boston owns, rehab the buildings, and activate ferry service to ensure we're moving much more quickly than that. Deploy our resources, not to have the same conversations year after year, but to pull people in, to move the conversation in different ways, and to ensure that the city of Boston is fully in the game, looking at every resource that we have.
Response if you want it.
We have no more time for conversation. We have to act. And I have been acting as a member of the City Council, as a member of the Mass and Cass Task Force, as a founding member who pushed for the creation of the South End Task Force, which was working every day to solve for this problem. We need partnership. I've committed to bring together city leaders from across the region to work on a collaborative effort. As a member of the City Council, I have brought together those that are along the continuum of care, state partners, care providers, public safety agencies, to the table to fix a broken continuum of care. The mayor needs to lead on this issue, and as mayor, day one, I'm prepared to continue with the work I've started as a city councilor.
Unless you want a few seconds, I'd like to move on.
I'll just note that we've heard from many of the task force members and folks in community on all sides that there's incredible frustration with the ongoing conversations year after year, month after month, especially as the situation has worsened. We need action, and that means not just continuing what we're doing, but getting at root causes. Underlying this is a housing crisis that we must address.
Briefly.
I will say the process has stalled under the interim administration. There was work underway that ended through the acting mayor's efforts over this last 8 months. We have seen, especially over the last 3 months, a proliferation of tents, from a handful to 100 to over 200 individuals in crisis in tents that need services tonight. Women who are being sexually assaulted and violated, We've had over the last 2 months 6 murders at Mass and Cass. We need action. We cannot wait 100 days for that action.
I don't want to shortchange you, but I would like to move
Now
on.
is the time to ensure we are expanding who is in the conversation, not pointing fingers, but making sure we continue to build, draw on every resources we have. Everyone is ready to help here, from city, state, county, federal government. We need to ensure that there's clear leadership, decisive action, and a plan coming from city government.
Well, let's talk more about housing, because that's